Did you know that over 80% of entrepreneurs say they want to write a book, but fewer than 1% ever publish one? That's a massive gap between inspiration and the actual impact they can make with their book. Today's guest is someone who helps bridge that gap by helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs turn their ideas into powerful, marketable books that elevate their authority and expand that impact. Welcome to the Wickedly Branded podcast. I'm your host, Beverly Cornell. I'm the founder and fairy godmother here at Wickedly Branded. Today, I am joined by Wiebke Tasch, founder of Digital Authors, a publishing agency that helps conscious entrepreneurs transform their ideas into professionally written, beautifully designed nonfiction books. A bestseller in 2018, Wiebke left her PR agency job in Berlin and followed an intuitive calling that eventually led her across the continent, building a publishing agency from scratch while living abroad and helping thought leaders birth books that reflect their soul's work. Wiebke, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Beverly.
We were just chatting quite a bit before I pushed record, all about traveling and far off places, and I was dreaming from my armchair here at the desk. I know that you said that you are originally from Berlin and you are in Mexico right now. So you have really traveled with this work. You've been able to take your show on the road, literally.
Yeah, I just stumbled into this lifestyle because I was 2018 when I started writing. I actually lived in the US before and more in Canada. And I dated someone from the US. So I was for a couple of years in Canada and the US. And then I came home to Berlin and I'm I don't know if I want to do this now. 9 to 5.
Ooh.
The typical German lifestyle, get married, have a kid, have 2 cars, do yearly holidays, vacation in Spain.
Yeah, fair.
So I just started Googling, what can I do? I loved writing always. And so there was this blog article. And back in 2018, there were still a lot of blog articles. And today, I don't think it's so common anymore. And I found something, making money online. You can actually write, writing and self-publishing. And I just started writing a book without knowing what I'm doing, to be honest. And I just started writing a nonfiction book. It was a self-help guide for women, a how-to guide. And I uploaded it on Amazon. I had no edit done. I did the cover design myself. And nothing really happened. And then after maybe 5 months, I hired an editor. And somehow I really hit a niche. And this book became a bestseller after 18 months. And I'm okay, I actually was just brave and I quit my day job at a PR agency and thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to go travel now. I just live in Asia in a little cabin and keep writing. So this was my dream, or what I thought I'm going to do next. But then COVID hit, and during COVID, March 2020, I was actually in Morocco. And yeah, I was with this group of women, an empowerment women week.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit and I decided to stay and write my second book. But during COVID, a lot of people came to me and asked, how do you do this? How do you write books? How do you publish? And I started coaching people and I really liked it. And so this was the beginning of what I'm doing today, running a company, a publishing agency, and I absolutely love it. And so this was the beginning on how I ended up doing what I'm doing. And to be honest, why I also left Germany was cost of living. I'm going to go full in now, doing coaching people, helping people, which developed later in a service done for you. And so I decided, okay, I need to live somewhere where the cost of living is a little bit cheaper than in Germany and the weather is a little bit nicer. And so I just followed my heart to keep going.
I think when I hear your story, I'm an accidental entrepreneur. So I never planned to be an entrepreneur either. Accidental writer feels the same way, right? Somehow because of the situation you wrote it. And when you're an accidental anything, I feel like you make all the mistakes. You have not this big grand plan that people have thought about for years and years. But I also feel like that made me braver because I didn't really think about what I was getting myself into per se And so I didn't get in my own way. Do you feel like that kind of maybe was the same thing for you? Because I think there's so much mindset in being a female founder, so much mindset in writing a book. There's so much that we have in our heads that kind of are counterintuitive to some of that. What do you think helped you quit your job, move halfway across as a woman too, by yourself? There's a lot of bravery in there.
I just knew I don't want to do this German lifestyle. I just knew in my bones. And so this sounds very dramatic right now, but I had a feeling I'm dying. If I stay, like a part of me is dying. I don't want to do this. And so this like kept me going to do something else. You know what I mean? For me, it was like, there's no way back. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I'm just like, keep going. And then what was really helpful was this women group. I ended up in Morocco. It was like an empowerment, couple of weeks workshop stuff.
Yeah.
And those women were all like self-employed and coaches and therapists. And they really helped me to get like confidence in myself. And I remember this one woman, she said, I asked her, like, do you think I can do this? And she said, when you put your energy into it, like the rest follows, but you have to like do the work, like keep going. And I did it. And it was hard. It was not just a little walk in a park. It was like, there were times it was really hard. But I knew I don't want to go back. And I knew I'm young enough to, if I fail, I have like a good education. I speak multiple languages, and then I just get a job, whatever. It was like, I had something to fall back. Sometimes I thought, just one more year, like how long can I do it? Just one more year. And I pictured myself when I'm in my 40s, I want to have this free lifestyle. I want to be in Europe. I want to be in the US. I want to be where I am, or like where I want to be. Like if my sister has a baby, I just want to be with her for a few months. I want to create this very independent and freedom lifestyle. And so this kept me going, like this vision of, now it's hard, and maybe it's hard for 5 years, but the rest of my life going to be so amazing if I like continue doing this, and going to be so free, and I can support my family and the people I love, but now it's shit and it's okay. So this kept me going for sure.
But was it really that bad?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just, I don't know. I had always this itchy feeling of I do this German thing, like this German lifestyle. Everybody's a little bit grumpy, like long winters, and it's like you have to follow a certain plan and always the same old same. And
like you said, it for 5 years, it might be hard, but the rest of your life will be easy. So is it really that hard, the 5 years? Or was it really that? Have you gotten past that? It's 2026. So if that was 2020, like where are you at in that? Was it really that hard? Because I feel like looking back on the business that I have, I've worked really hard and I spent a lot of time, and some blood, sweat, and tears for sure. It wasn't really that hard now looking back.
No, some experiences were hard where I questioned my choices for sure. No, not everything, because I always loved my work, like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But also I needed to learn so many skills. And sometimes I felt like overwhelmed, you know? And for example, to save money is 4 years ago or 3 years ago. So I shared like an apartment. It was actually in Mexico already. It's like when I came here, also 4 years ago. Shared an apartment like with students, and I'm already in my 30s, and the kitchen was shit, and this was hard, and I like, why am I doing this? All my friends are married, having career, killing it, having their own house, and I'm like living with Mexican students who are like 18 and the first time living on their own, and the kitchen is horrible. They're doing parties, and I'm like working my ass off. For example, like this one afternoon, I had a call with someone, and in the background, there was this couple who fooling around with each other, and I could hear them and having this call, and I'm like, hopefully nobody hears my background. And it was just a few months.
Yeah.
And this was hard, like not everything, but like those few moments and like few months where I decided, okay, I need to like save money. I'm like super on a budget, and I did those choices to keep going, those moments were really hard. But others,
But don't you think those moments helped fortify you? They gave you grit, and they gave you resilience, and they gave you I've those are character building moments.
for sure.
So I feel like, and it's also like the fire in your belly. Excuse me. You don't want to be there again. So I don't it's like the strength comes from the experience in many ways.
So true. And when you do those moments, it's going to go better. And like I said, I always had this vision, like in my 40s, it's like it's all worth it doing those moments when I question myself why I'm doing this. I hate living low budget. But it was like, yeah, it's also really trained me to be consistent and go through it and just don't take it too personally or don't like run away from it, like stick with it for a few weeks or a few months. And then it's like the next turn's coming and it's just a time period at the moment for sure. Yeah.
The next turn is coming. That's pretty powerful. This is just a moment.
Yeah.
You will get through this.
And I feel even if you had a job and starting a family or living a more traditional lifestyle, you always have those moments. Doesn't matter what you're doing. We always go through like cycles and it's going to be hard no matter what. And I feel you can choose your own heart.
Yeah. I never thought I was going to be a mom. We ended up adopting a child at 40. I was 40 years old and it was hard. Like when you're 25, you have a lot of energy. When you're 40, you don't have energy of a 25-year-old. And I also was going through some midlife stuff, like around 45, 46, and hormones changing, things like that, and not sleeping, and had a young one to take care of too. It's a lot. And so I feel like you would be the same way. I feel like I can do anything. If I can get through COVID, doing that, through deployments, I can do anything. But I feel pretty empowered now that there's not much that could come my way that I couldn't figure out. I have a thing on my poster over here that says, yet. Like, I may not know the answer yet.
I love this.
So it's coming, though, like around the corner. I love the idea, but around the corner is that other thing that you've been looking for. And life is hard. You're right. There's moments and seasons of our lives that are just more challenging, more energy draining, more everything. And like you said, I'm 50 now. I feel like now it's getting easier. I worked really hard and now it's getting a little bit easier. So
yeah. And you know what? Also in the hard moments, for me, I always somehow met people who wrote books and then suddenly had a new client and everything kept moving again. And I'm not kidding. Like people came to me, want to write and publish a book. And this also showed me that I'm on the right path. So even in the hardest moment, I always connected with authors and writers, like my clients, and I kept going. And it's for me, like the universe really showed me, okay, you are doing the right thing for you. So just like one step after another.
absolutely.
Until you reach this point where everything is just flowing.
Yes. And even in business, like it's ups and downs, right? So there's times where it's lots of flow and sometimes it's a little bit harder. And when I talk to my clients, a lot of them feel the same way. They're the CEO of everything because they're doing all the skills. They're learning all the things. They're overwhelmed. Absolutely 100%. I've been there. I know exactly how that feels. But there are like seasons and cycles in a business. Or I feel like with marketing and branding, maybe not so much, but I feel like we're slow around Christmas and we're really slow, like maybe in the middle of the summer, like when most of our clients are taking vacations. Like we're not as busy. It's like
for sure.
So we talked about the hard times. What about the most joyful? What's the things that make you the happiest? Hey, I know you're listening today because you're ready to take your business and your brand to the next level. But if you're being honest with yourself, maybe you've been feeling a little bit lost, but you've got this big vision and you know that you're meant to make a bigger impact. But sometimes it's so hard to know where to start and which direction to take. Does that sound familiar? You're not alone. So many purpose-driven entrepreneurs feel the exact same way as you. That's why I created the Clarity Quiz, a simple tool that helps you get to the heart of what's holding you back and shows you where you need to focus next. No more second guessing, no more spinning the wheels, just clear, actionable insights that give you the confidence to move forward, that next best step. Taking the quiz will give you a deeper understanding of your brand's true potential and what's standing in your way. And the best part, it only takes like 3 minutes, but the results, they could transform the way you approach your business and brand forever. So if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and you want to start showing up with purpose and clarity, go to wickedlybranded.com and take the quiz now.
Everything, honestly. Like really working with people. I work mostly with women. I work with coaches, therapists, entrepreneurs, and I really work with people who have something important to say. And the whole process from A to Z, we start with the market analysis for the books, then we do helping with editing, proofreading. We actually help with the outline and everything. Then we do layout, cover, helping with the book launch, doing ads, preparing for the book launch, explaining what's important for the book launch. And after this whole process, I became friends with everybody. You get so close because it's also like a 6 months workload. It's not just, it's a book. It takes time. We could do it faster, but it's important to have some time for the book launch. This is so important. And after this process, like I said, I build with my clients such a close relationship, and it's so transformative. And this is really what's keeping me going, like amazing people. I also have a thing for book layouts. I'm obsessed with like good book layouts and a good design part. And also like the market analysis. I really love the whole process.
Yeah.
And over the last years, I built up a team, which is amazing. I have a background from like the Bauhaus University in Germany. I have like my master. I did a master degree there. And since then, I'm just obsessed with like good designs and like something like clear, powerful, transformative. And yeah, like the whole process. I just love it. I really love it.
That's amazing. I love marketing and the transformation I witness with my clients too. I feel so completely honored to be on that journey with them, to see them. And I have to believe this only because of the experience I have. I have worked with a couple of publishers, and what I love about my publishers is that even when I doubt myself, they believe in me and the work because they know the work is good or whatever. And so sometimes we need somebody else to be a cheerleader for you. You need to, because I will say that putting my work out there is really vulnerable. Putting my words on paper and my thoughts and my perspective and my experiences on paper and sharing it with the world is not something that is easy. That's like a pretty vulnerable experience. And yeah.
I'm so glad you say this because this is so on point. When I wrote my first book, I had the same. I felt like I'm stripping myself. I'm like making myself naked for the world. And it's like a coming out of your own stories. And you're so afraid of like critics and people like spreading you. But it's also so powerful if you like share your stories, especially in nonfiction. Like if you can put those stories together with something like what helps other people, like with a step-by-step guide, with like an how-to, like how nonfiction works. It's such an amazing process to know my own story can actually transform other people's lives. And I had this with my first book. To this day, I get emails from women from Germany thanking me for my book. And like this one woman, even she founded like a self-help group, and I think it was Dortmund from Germany, helping women based on my book. And it's, oh my God, this is the biggest compliment
Absolutely
you can get. Yeah. And this is the power of nonfiction.
I was just looking, my friend is an author. She said to me when she read my book, the first book, she said, I've been so reinvigorated since reading your book. I'm having so much fun now making content for my new book based on your book. Like she had gotten in her own way. And she was like, this has changed my whole perspective. I was over social media and now you brought the joy back into it. And she's a writer. And I was like, how did I do that? So it is like such positive proof that you're making a difference. And I have said, I'm writing the book for me 10 years ago, this new book that I'm writing. And if one woman has that kind of experience, and I've done something good, because at least we'll help someone.
Yeah.
I hope it's more than one woman, but I really want the impact for that. And I've had people even from this podcast. They say, I listened to your podcast about confidence and I did a thing that was really hard and it worked. And like that to me is like my voice matters. The stories matter for people like you because they are pushed to maybe try something they wouldn't have done before because of it. So it does matter. But it is like stripping yourself naked. It is absolutely 100% like stripping yourself naked for the world to see. And if your book is good in the sense of I have a really clear perspective, you're going to piss off some people.
Yeah.
Because it is a clear perspective.
Yeah.
And you have to be fortified for that too. And because I'm writing for women, I feel like there are certain people who don't want that out there. So there's like a whole movement right now about quieting women's voices. And the book is all about empowering the woman to have a voice. So counterculture to what's happening right now. And so I know that there's going to be the people who are really pissed off about the book. And maybe that's good for it because some bad PR might not be bad. I don't know.
What if you're saying actually every PR is good PR?
Right, exactly. I always agree with that. I have done PR for clients who had bad PR, and I would never recommend that to any of my clients. But yeah, I do feel like if you stir the pot a little bit, though, there can be a conversation, and that can be interesting from feedback or whatever. But I do think that there's something about that it's very vulnerable. I just remember even the first blog post I wrote and put out there, how I felt. And there's a lot of blog posts I put out there that I still feel that way. I push publish and it's something in my soul is like, oh, this one means something. And but that is when I know it matters.
That's beautiful. And when we start like working with someone, like we always do like a market analysis to see where the book stands, which is so important because a lot of people just, when they write a book and think, okay, just self-publish it, and then they self-publish it without understanding what the market wants and what I there can deliver to match the market. So we do like a market analysis in the beginning to check like the competition, the search volume, like how many people are actually like searching for it, how many people from those are willing to buy your book. And then also checking what are you doing? Is your business fitting this market? And then find a perfect niche for you.
Yeah.
And from there, we do a book outline or helping redefine the manuscript. And one thing is so important in the manuscript is like telling a personal story, like sharing your own story, and don't be too vague or too like general and scratching the surface. It's important to not tell everything, like also be comfortable, like what you're sharing, but don't be afraid to share your story. And don't think, and I think a lot of women think, who cares? Who actually want to know? Is it important for other people? It is. I like every manuscript I go through giving a development feedback, I always tell, can you go deeper in here? Tell your story. Say, what was it? What was the turning point? Why are you afraid? Or what kept you going? And then really creating a book. And I always say there's a perfect cocktail in writing out of, I call it warm writing and cold writing. And so the cold writing is like the data, the facts, what's important, like how to do it. And warm writing is your personal story. Yeah. How did you do it? Like, how did you fail? How did you keep going? Like, how was it transformative for you? What can we, the reader, learn from it? How can this information like help us to do like the right decision and transform our life and go there where we want to be, where you've been through it? So this is so powerful. And also in a age of AI, I also say
absolutely
AI, because first of all, like the language is shit, but the sentence structure is
weird. Yes,
just this little short sentences.
Absolutely, yeah. Nothing. Yeah, yes.
And it's so important. Find your own voice. It's a little bit more work, but it's so worth it. And people want to read other stories.
Yeah.
People don't want to read like ChatGPT generated content. People want to like connect with you, like with your book, with your content, with your voice. And so it's so important. Put a little bit more time into it. Write your own stories.
I'm ready to fire ChatGPT. It does go rogue. And it does. The sentence structure is really not and I'm very good at prompting. So I will say, no, do it like this or do it like that or whatever. But it always kind of reverts back to that crap. And so you have to like keep it on course. And while it can save a little bit of time, what it's really helped with was ideation. I want to develop this idea out. What are some ways that I can do that? That's been really helpful. But yeah, it's interesting. So my first book I wrote in 7 days, and I did write it with AI. But this was right when AI first came out, like when it was, like this was 3 years ago, published it. It was good. It was okay. It wasn't horrible. But now that I have evolved and I have found my voice more, I don't think that's the voice that I want to leave out there. So I am more careful about it now, for sure. So there's a lot of ways you can use AI to be helpful. That is not just the writing side of it. I think the ideation and like the complexity of the thought could be explored a little bit, so you can go a little deeper that way. But I use not only one thing that Carrie, my friend who read my first book that I just revised, she said, I love your client stories. So it's not just my story, but it's also people that I've worked with and their stories and how they experienced something and then what clicked for them. And I really feel like doing this podcast has helped me find my voice, which is really interesting.
I love this so much. And yeah, like you said, like stories stick with your readers. Like people remember stories and like anecdotes from your clients. Also show your authority. Show, okay, I helped other people like going this way. Here's some proof actually. And yeah, like people remember stories. And this is why it's so important to write a good book, like putting some time into it, collecting those stories from your clients or success. Maybe also some failures.
Absolutely. Yep.
To see, okay, this way is not really a good way.
And you have to sometimes you have to learn the hard way, which is sad, but it is the thing for sure. I agree with you. We don't talk about niching as a brand. We talk about narrative resonance. And that I think is so important, especially for books. Narrative resonance of this. This is why I say I want to speak to myself 10 years ago, because I want the story to connect with her so that I can help her get there faster than I had to get there. But this narrative resonance that story connection that can happen, it can build trust so powerfully before you even talk to them, just to sell them something, right? They're already they're bought in because they connect so powerfully to your story. So being really like warm and detailed. I try to do all 5 senses when I tell a story. So how did my body feel? What was outside? I want to connect all of that to them. But yes, there's this it's such a great responsibility to take them down that road that is happening. So the book is wickedly branded, Claim Your Voice, Visibility, and Leadership in a World Not Built for Women.
Oh, it's powerful. I love the title.
Thank you. I really like it too. The idea, though, is that we have been given a container built by men in post-industrial era times of how men work when they had a woman at home to support. And now women are doing the support and the work. Yeah. And I was like, so I'm a category creator in some way, which is very scary from that perspective. But every woman I talk to resonates with this story, with this concept. So I feel like there's something there for sure. Yeah. But I talk about legacy load, about the idea that we're the first women that get to have businesses.
I think so too. I feel like there were women in the 90s, which was very rare.
That was the working woman.
Yeah.
And now we're in the founding women, female founders era.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just naming the container we've been living in and then encouraging them to keep what they want that serves them well, because there are certain things that do serve us well, but also to lay down things that don't serve them well. Really have a permission slip in there to give yourself permission to build the exact business you want.
This is such a good structure of a nonfiction book. It reminds me like the latest client I have. She also do a lot of like worksheets. She shares her story and puts in like the concept behind it and then asks, okay, now it's your turn.
Activations. I call them activations. Yeah. Okay.
And she even ends it with writing your own contract with yourself.
Yep.
With it. It's so empowering.
I have a manifesto. Yeah.
I love this so much.
Yeah.
And also like from the design standpoint, you can like create so amazing designs, like layout designs for those little worksheets and like your own contract or writing a manifestos. I love it so much. Yeah.
So like, really pretty. I have custom illustrations that I've hired an illustrator for because I don't think that adult books have to be boring. They can have pictures in them and be fun too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all part of it.
Nice.
But it's because it's a lived experience too. It's my lived experience. I think you said something earlier about it is two things. It's the vulnerability, but it's also like this amazing, almost like caterpillar to butterfly feeling, bringing this to life because it is affirming that what I have experienced is not in isolation, that there's a whole generation of women that are experiencing this. So I feel so much less alone in my journey. But when I talk about some of this stuff, like when I talk about how this makes me feel, when I talk about the should, I have a should suitcase that we carry as mothers, as daughters, as wives, from church culture, from the patriarchy. There's a lot that we carry. I get a little emotional and because it matters. It so deeply matters. And this, I feel, is legacy work. I don't think this is like the first book's a little superficial. This is legacy work. And that's where it's scarier because it matters more. It matters so much to me to leave this work behind.
I love this so much. And this is so important to everybody who has like something to say, and especially us women, and something very important, transformative for other women to hear. Don't hide behind traditions or I'm not allowed to say it or my husband wouldn't agree or I don't know, my family wouldn't be behind me. But if it's important for other people to hear, it's important you tell your story. And also just a little, if you very much afraid to telling your own story because I don't know, maybe your family is like in the public or there's so many reasons. You always can write and publish a book under a pen name. You know, sometimes your story and your voice is very important. And if you can't say it with your own name, always use a pen name.
That's interesting.
If it's about the message, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. So what's the biggest mistake people make with their books?
First of all, so there's a lot of mistakes. But
I made a lot with my first book, so I could probably spend a whole episode talking about all the mistakes that I made. But
so the biggest mistake, people have no idea about the market, and it's hard. Like, who knows about market analysis? I get it, but just like publishing blindly without understanding a niche, and if there's enough space for a first-time author, just publish blindly, then have no cover design really done professionally. Like worst case, did it in Canva, and then
my secret.
And then this is also a very big mistake. Don't understand like a genre, and so do like genre confusion in the cover design, which means, and I saw it so many times, like people publishing in a specific genre and using design elements from a different genre, like fiction, and then people think it's a totally different book than it is. So you're attracting the wrong readers. Another mistake, you just publish your first draft. You don't even talk about
stream of consciousness. It's not early,
So very bad idea. You need to work with an editor or proofreader. What we do, for example, we always do 2 rounds. Like after the market analysis, we give like the outline for the book and based on the data we found, and usually we have to redirect in the right position. So we help to position the author in the book, and then from this writing like the outline, and then we go over it like development feedback and go very deep into the manuscript. And so the author works this in, and after this we do a final proofreading. which we have an
It's more
in-house editor,
grammar and things like that.
grammar and
Yes.
everything. And so like our in-house proofreader is Carol. She's from New York.
Speaker probably is a little bit better, especially who is a proofreader or editor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like Carol, for example, like it's her profession and you usually have a training behind you, etc. And like why I choose a native English speaker is also sometimes there's some saying or some slang. It's depends on the book, which can like a second
nuance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the nuance is like someone with a second language don't get it sometimes because it's not like the word. Sometimes it's nuance and
The whole
the sayings.
concept has a nuance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of idioms and like phrases we use that are very unique, and it could be even regional, right? It could be like a Midwestern thing or a Southern thing. Like there's a lot of like nuance in the language here specifically.
For sure.
I feel like yes, sure. And I'm like, Irish. What?
Yeah, something like this. Yeah. And then I have a friend from New Orleans, and I remember the first time we were sitting outside. We met in Costa Rica, sitting outside at the beach, and he's talking, and I'm like, "What are you saying?" Like because he like ended up in like some slang.
Yeah,
and like, I understand like 70% what you just said. Like,
yeah, that's funny. So I love this concept too, like this idea of market analysis. Obviously, as a branding and marketing person, we would like to look at market analysis. We actually are the nerds that look at that as well. And that's reasons why I went to the bookstore and did some of those things. I've done some searching on Amazon myself. Is that if you don't have a need for it, then why do it? Are you just doing it to redo it? Do you actually have a perspective? There's a lot that you have to consider and all of that for sure.
And also be clear on your intention. What do you want with your book? Do you want to use it as like a client magnet, which converting readers into your audience and from there into paying clients? So it's very important to understand what are you doing. It's not just a hobby. It's not just writing poems and then publishing it. It's a different kind of writing. It's like you have a purpose with it. You have a responsibility with it. So be clear on your intention. And
there's things like I have interwoven into my chapters about like when we work with a client, this is what happens. Or when I'm speaking at an event, this is what happens. I am positioning myself as an authority throughout the entire book to show the kind of work we do. So you have to be very intentional about that so that they see you as a potential vendor for them at some point.
Yeah.
Or they recommend you to somebody who the work that we do, the branding work that we do specifically up here, I see the vanishing finish line. We make goals and then we push the goalpost again and again, and we never sit in our glory ever. We never do that. And we never feel successful because of that. Like we're our own worst enemies in this. And the first book, I wrote it in 7 days. I was all by myself. First copy, second copy. I've done all this work with this book, so I used that knowledge to inform the revision. I didn't use a publisher per se, but I did have it proofread and some of that kind of stuff. So, and I do think that matters. And if you want a legacy book that is going to have your name on it for a long time, which books do, then I feel like you need to spend the extra time and effort and money to do that with someone like.
And one thing which is so important and like most people don't understand in the publishing world is you have only 5 days when you publish, which decide if your book's going to be successful or not, like doing the book launch. Because the algorithm, the online algorithm, remembers the first 5 days, how much traffic were you able to bring on to your book, if it's growing, if it's falling. And this is why it's like a blueprint, like a stamp. Like the algorithm stamps your book and it's decide whether later on when people are searching something in this niche, the algorithm, like on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc., are going to suggest your book to people who are searching like in this niche. Or it's just a dead draft somewhere on page 120. And so the biggest mistake someone can do is just publish a book and then tell people later about it. Because you're missing.
Were you there when I launched my last book? All the mistakes that I have missing. But the point of the first book for me, and this is okay. If your point of the first book, if your idea for the book is to give it away as a PDF to potential as a lead magnet, then you don't really, it doesn't really matter what she's saying, what she's telling you right now. But if it matters that your book does well and you want to be a bestseller, then you need to have a blueprint. Absolutely.
a strategy. You need to understand like how it's like the publishing world is working and like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and etc. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I have one more big question. Then I have a magic wand.
I love it.
And I'm wickedly branded. And if I could wave my magic wand and solve one marketing issue for you today, for you, your business, what would be the question? What would be the thing that's been on your mind?
One marketing issue for me, for like digital authors.
Yes.
I don't know, how to get more amazing people to start writing and publishing books.
Ooh. Well, that's so hard because they have to get over themselves first, right? I think it's really talking about the things that get in the way, in your podcast. Maybe it's like, you don't know where to start. Maybe I would name all the things that are getting in the way and give them tips and tricks on to do that, to get over that. Speak to the pain points. That is like the thing that I would always say. Are you on LinkedIn actively? I see you have a LinkedIn profile. I went to your LinkedIn profile. I would follow people who are your ideal clients and ask them if they've written a book or be curious. Like when they share really amazing posts, gosh, this could be a really good book. And
I love it.
Really be human with them and be like, I'm so impressed. I would read a book about this. Have you thought about writing a book? I would be a little bit more forward in that. And I will say this, I don't think anybody's going to be upset that someone said that what I said was profound enough to be in a book. I would never be like, how dare she? He'd be like, I want to ourselves.
Yeah.
To get there.
I love it. Thank you so much. It's an amazing tip.
Awesome. Okay, so the last question I ask every single guest is, what does it mean to you to be wickedly branded? And how do you show up as wickedly branded?
Okay, so I'm a big astrology fan. And with every client who wants to, I'm not forcing anybody. And if I have a feeling they're not into it, then it's okay. Sure. But I actually checked the astrology for the best book launch. And I just had a client, we did it, and she published in February, 3rd of February. And we talked last week, and she said she had an amazing magical experience with her book launch. It's worked out so well. And so what I did, we were sitting down and I checked her birth chart and then astrology, and then we just figured like a perfect date for her book launch. And I really believe like there are energies and powers we have no idea how it really works. So why not use it to our advantage and not publishing on like Mercury retrograde or when it's like a square from Uranus and Mars or something like, and really use the astrology to find the perfect book launch date. So
I'm putting in a chat right now. I'm wondering like what. So I was trying to do really fast while you were talking at 11:50 a.m. I'm just curious what it comes up with.
I can check it for you if you want.
I want. Yeah. I'm so curious. I was trying to get it done before my 51st birthday because this 50th year has been really powerful for lots of reasons. My birthday is April 30th. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to be done in time, but it's interesting. And it's funny because I'm a Taurus sun. So, you're a sun. Their name is Sun. I just wondered if it said a window, May to June.
It's soon.
Yeah. Second window would be September, October. So if I need to.
Yeah, but careful, after October 3rd, it's Venus in retrograde. So you don't want to publish on Venus.
Windows to avoid July to August.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And next year is also, I think, 2027, January to March, there's Mars in retrograde. So
we don't do anything with that. That's a terrible retrograde.
I know. But it also depends on your chart. If you have a natal Mars retrograde somewhere in a publishing house, this is good. But yeah.
So I love this idea of women working in cycles and seasons and even the stars. Those are ancient ways we have determined things over the years. It's not something that's new or like weird. It is something that's been used for centuries to determine certain things. And when I go outside with my son, we always look for Orion, and then we kind of find the Big Dipper. And we are centered in the season by the stars. So I feel it's just one cool way to think about what's best in that, energetically, what's aligned in that. It's very cool. I love that. So how do you show up as wickedly branded, do you think?
I think it's just as myself. Like,
Absolutely. It's 100% authentic to you. And that is, and it's very visible. You either feel comfortable or you don't in your voice and visibility and how you talk and what you share and all of that. Yes, authenticity is huge. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. What's a bit of advice you would give to our listener to be more wickedly branded?
I think trust their own inner voice. Don't listen to other people and don't listen when other like naysayer tell you that this and this couldn't work or can work or there's no way. Always listen to your own power, your own voice. What I learned over the last years as well is like connecting with my own soul, trying to really fulfill my soul purpose. And so nobody else understands this, not even you fully. So try to connect with your inner voice, your intuition, and follow your dreams. It's so important. It's so important.
We're taught to cover our voice and to go with the society and everything else. So the whole book that I'm writing is about that. And there's a whole chapter on trust. I love that you said that, because when you trust yourself, you can trust other people. And when you trust other people, you can trust systems and processes. Yeah. And that's what's going to help you scale, is doing those kinds of things. So 100% trust is huge. I love that so much.
For sure.
This has been a great conversation today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope that today's episode, a little bit of a fire under you, my listeners, gave you some new ideas and most of all, maybe inspired you to write a book. Because here's what I know, your message deeply matters, your work matters, and the world needs to hear what you have to say. Marketing isn't just about visibility. It's about the impact you can make. It's about connecting with people in a way that feels absolutely 100% true to you. So I want you to keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and keep making magic in the world. And if you ever feel stuck, are both here. We don't want you to do it alone. You can have help with branding, have help with marketing, have help with writing a book. We're here to help you turn your spark into a wildfire. But until next time, I want to dare you to be wickedly branded. Wow, what an incredible conversation we just had. I hope that this episode lit a little bit of a fire under you to finally bring your brand to life in a way that feels true to you. Remember, clarity is the spark, but activation is that fire and flame that keeps your message and your visuals and your strategy aligned, and the confidence that follows. So does that lovely thing called momentum that you've been waiting for. So if today's episode, if you loved it, make sure you are subscribed to the Wickedly Branded Marketing Podcast so you never miss an insight or a conversation. Until next time, dare to be wickedly branded.